So what structure should you use for your property business? Should you hold a property in just your name? Should you hold it in a limited company? What about a partnership or an LLP? It can be confusing. You have two considerations, tax and legal. Check out this video as we go into the details. Hi everyone, my name is Simon Misiewicz from Optimise Accountants. I'm here to help you grow your wealth whilst reducing your tax liability. And in today's session, I want to talk about structures. Yes, structures. It's so important, but so often got wrong. So we're going to be talking about buy-to-let properties and how you should own them. Should you own them in your own name, in a limited company, and all the bits in between. So let's go through the detail now. Now there are different options that you have on the screen. We're going to go through now two considerations for each of these structures. We're going to be talking tax and legal. And I'll talk about legal here in terms of legal protection. Okay, so let's go through that detail now. So let's talk about tax, because that's the first thing that I would always like to talk about clearly. So the first one is, I would say, is if you have property in your own name, then you will pay income tax on the profits that you make on the profits. Okay, so simply you will pay tax on the profits made on that property. And the tax banding really does depend on your earnings, but it could be 10%, sorry, it could be 0%, 10%, where does that come from? It could be 0%, 20%, 40%, or indeed 45%, all dependent on how much money you earn. And that's not just from property, but it's from all of your income strands. Now, if you have a partnership or an LLP stands for Limited Liability Partnership, which basically means it's a company for a partnership. All those structures, so own name, partnership, LLP, all have income tax bands. So you will pay tax personally on each of those structures. The only tax efficient structure that we're mentioning here is a limited company. So a limited company has a corporation tax rate of just 19%, which actually is less than the basic rate tax band of 20%. Clearly, it's less than the high rate tax band of 40% and the additional rate of 45%. But what it doesn't benefit from is the personal allowance that you can have as an individual up to $12,500, where you pay no tax at all. But a company cannot benefit from that at all. So that is from a tax angle. Let's have a look at it from a legal side. Now, legal protection I'm talking about here, but this is whereby something happens to the property and you've got an issue with that. So we're talking about you've got a tenant, they have an accident, potentially caused by the property not being done properly. They need to sue someone ultimately. Who are they going to sue? Well, that's an interesting one, because if the property is owned in your name, they are going to sue you as the landlord. Therefore, all of your personal assets are under threat with that court case. The judge could say, well, you need to sell some of your own personal assets to pay that tenant. That is ultimately what could happen. If you're in a partnership, that too could be applied. So if you have a partnership whereby you've got two people working, and it typically could be husband, wife, or civil partners, or other family members, or indeed friends in a partnership, then that partnership equally could be attacked. So the individual partners could be attacked by that tenant, and their personal assets may have to be sold to pay off the tenant in a court case. The difference is now in LLP, Limited Liability Partnership, the clue's in the name. Limited Liability Partnership. Basically, the liability stays with that company, as it does the limited company. So if the tenant sues the LLP or the limited company, they can only take the assets from those entities. They cannot come after you as an individual. So that is a good legal protection that you have with those two structures. But if you look at it as a holistic perspective, we need to have a look at the whole tax structure, which that's why I've labeled it tax structure, because that's where my focus is. But we also need to think about the income tax, the legal responsibility as well. So if you look at properties in your own name, very much similar to a standard partnership. You as an individual, income tax. Partnership, income tax. Legal responsibility, you as an individual. Legal responsibility in partnership, the partners associated with it. Now we need to look at the LLP. Now for me, the LLP does not offer you anything in regards to tax efficiency. It only gives you legal protection. And that is why I tend to say to my my clients, if you are indeed looking for legal protection and tax efficiency as a high rate taxpayer, then look no further than a limited company, because the limited company has the lowest tax rate of all of the other structures we talked about, and it gives you that legal protection as well. And that's it in a nutshell. That is all we need to understand from a tax structure and legal considerations here. So if you enjoyed this video, please do give it a good old thumbs up and do comment on it as well. And of course, if you like this video channel now, make sure you press the subscribe button so that you get notified every time we release a new video. Well, why not book a call with me, Simon Misiewicz, your finance tax director, for at least an hour to understand how we can help you grow your business without paying the tax.